Now, before we proceed to our main script, I realized that there was something I could do in the definition called make guess to make it actually a little bit simpler. Notice that check guess, if we go back to check guess, well, it's going to return either true or false. And that means that result is either true or false. So instead of doing this comparison here, if result equals true, then return true, else return false, I technically don't even need that. I could just say return result, because result is either true or false. And I could make this even simpler by getting rid of result and just say return check guess, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want it too simple. So result is either true or false, so I don't need that comparison that I had before. I'll just return the value of result. Okay, now we're ready for our main script, so let's get into it. The first thing we want to do is we want to give the greeting something, give the user, something of a greeting. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to print welcome to science quiz. And we can get a lot more elaborate than that. We can explain the rules, but we're going to assume that the user already understands the rules. All right, now let's go ahead and begin our loop here. So we're going to say while true. So this is an infinite loop that we're going to control breaking free from. We're going to say result equals make guess. Now, what are we going to guess? Well, we're going to guess from the questions list. And so if I want the first question, I would say questions 0 corresponds to answers 0, just like that. But I want to be able to get to the next question if I guess correctly. And so remember at the beginning we created this little variable called counter. And so counter is going to keep track of which guess we're on. So instead of 0, we're going to use our counter variable. And remember, counter at the very beginning starts at 0. So if we get it correct, we update the counter to 1, and then when we make the guess, we're choosing the next question from the list. Okay, well, what if the result is true? If result equals true, then we simply update the counter. So counter equals counter plus 1, and that's all we have to do. Backspace, because we want to make sure that we've broken free from the if condition. Else, if attempts is greater than or equal to max attempts. So if we hit 3 attempts, that means the program's going to quit. And so what we do is we break. And so that will actually break out of this loop is what it will do. So we are controlling how to break free from the infinite loop. Hit enter, backspace. Now there's only one other way we can break out of this infinite loop, and that's if we get all the questions correct. And so we say, okay, if counter is greater than or equal to the length of the questions list. So that means the number of questions in the list. That's what len does for us. If that's the case, then we break free. Enter and then backspace. And now here on line 54, notice the cursor here is not tabbed in. That means we're no longer part of the loop. What should be the last thing we do? The last thing we should do is print final score. And so the score is our variable score right here, which we updated right here inside of the check guess when we get it correct. So theoretically now everything should be correct. I'm going to save this and in the next video we're going to run it. If I have any errors or typos, we're going to discover that in the next video.